Hello again, everybody, and welcome to another Inside Lowell podcast. I am your host, Teddy Panos, coming to you from the WellPoint Studios here in downtown Lowell. Unicare is now WellPoint. New name, same commitment to Massachusetts and to its members. At WellPoint, your whole health is their whole point. And we thank our friends at WellPoint for helping to make this and all of our Inside Lowell podcasts possible. And I want to thank all of our podcast sponsors, our friends at the Washington Savings Bank. Make the switch now to Washington Savings Bank. TMI Properties, from affordable to luxurious apartments for all. Boston North Company, business solutions for restaurant and retail. Mahoney Oil, providing warmth and protection since 1925. The newest member of our Inside Lowell family, A&M Auto Body, superior and quick service from the most skilled technicians around. Francis E. Preventure Insurance, the agency Greater Lowell counts on. And last, but certainly not least, the Massachusetts Pirates, bringing all the excitement and hard-hitting action of arena football to the Tsongas Center at UMass Lowell. And with that, let me welcome in my guest for this podcast. He is, you probably know him by this point, the face of the Lowell Summer Music Series, which returns this weekend, June 21st and 22nd, kicking off summer officially with the Lowell Summer Music Series. Peter Aucella is joining us here. How are you, Peter?
I never thought I'd be like the harbinger of summer.
You are. Career. You have been in many ways, whether the date is June 21st or whatever. But here it is. 34th season. Can you believe it? Did you imagine you'd be doing this 3.5 decades later when you first brought those very first shows?
So I was involved with building Boarding House Park. And of course, the longtime Lowellians will remember that as the parking lot of H&H Paper, which was in the boarding house. And the boarding house became the Mogan Cultural Center, exhibits for the National Park, and there was a proposal to build an amphitheater outside and change the park and the surface parking lot. So, yeah, that was 1988, I think, and we opened the park in 1990.
And how did you decide, you know what, instead of doing a show here and there, we're going to do an entire season, 12, 18, whatever number you're able to book, of big-time concerts featuring big, well-known performers and all these massive logistical issues that you have to deal with every week?
Well, one of the simple parameters is summer is short here. It may seem like it's very long this week, but, it's just a few months. And initially, all of the programming was funded by the old Lowell Historic Preservation Commission, which was created along with the National Park on the park themes. So the focus was on ethnic music. So it was similar to the folk festival, but you might have an Italian night and a Greek night and an Irish night and whatnot. And what we learned is people don't come out the same way on an individual night that they do at the folk festival when it's a huge, massive party. There's food options. There's all kinds of things going on. So what we learned pretty quickly was that we needed to be able to be self-sustaining, to give people what they wanted. It was a great opportunity for the National Park to be more community-spirited. It wasn't just about their themes. It was about supporting the community. So we slowly moved from all ethnic to a lot less of that, and a few pop things, Tom Rush and a few the Drifters, the Platters in the early years, and then realized we could do more. So.
And it's become really one of the premier outdoor venues in the area, yet small and cozy enough to not be like a disaster trying to get in and out of parking lots like at some of the bigger venues.
It's so funny when I hear from people who will say, "Oh, I don't know about coming up to Lowell for an outdoor event and whatnot," and they come and they kind of forget where they are. Yeah, I'm in Lowell, but it's so safe and serene and calming and pleasant to be at, that they just lose any concerns they might have had of coming to an outdoor event in an urban area. So that, I think those concerns are long behind us.
Yeah, it's definitely well known, and you can see by the list of performers who've been here through the years. This year, no different. It's a different year for you having to plan it because of the construction of Lowell High School taking away your main backup venue. So you've had to kind of like mix and match with the scheduling and the act. But you put together a pretty kind of dare I say eclectic lineup full of performers and some cover tribute bands.
I've always felt we were pretty eclectic, but a little less baby boomer oriented, and trying to aim intentionally a little more for younger acts to begin to guide that populace to our venue for years to come. So you might not have seen groups like Buffalo Tom or Belly, who were big in the 90s, Chadwick Stokes is the lead singer of the group Dispatch, which is selling 10,000 seats in October at MGM Fenway. 2 nights at MGM Fenway is 10,000 seats. And here he is playing with his so-called solo group at Boarding House Park. So it should be, a great night to see a performer who has a great following.
Yeah, and as we mentioned, the season kicks off. We're recording this on Wednesday, June 19th, but the season kicks off Friday, June 21st. You're kicking off summer. There's the opening weekend right there. You've got Ben Folds, the Paper Airplane Request Tour, and then you got that face-to-face, which everybody knows I get tickets through my my other business that my family sponsors. Like, you got to get me tickets to see the Billy Joel and Elton John. They don't even call them face-to-face. As far as they're concerned, they're going to hear Billy Joel and Elton John music performed pretty darn well.
Well, and they are, because you've got 2 great performers, and I should know the names, but Mike Santoro is the Billy Joel.
Does it really matter to the audience the names of them? They're just going to be Elton and Billy, as far as we're concerned.
He does an hour of Billy Joel hits.
A full hour.
Full hour. Then there's an hour of Elton John hits by Ronnie Smith, who is the sort of a youngish Elton John look. But they're not. I mean, Mike Santoro does not look anything like Billy Joel. Doesn't matter. He sounds exactly like him. He can play the piano, and this is serious piano playing that goes on for both of those acts. You can't just do a simple cover. And then Billy Joel and Elton John toured in a series of dates called Face to Face, where they both performed together. And so in the last set, the third hour of the show, in the third hour, you'll have both of them on stage at separate pianos and, going at it, doing each other's songs the way Elton John and Billy Joel really used to do live.
The ultimate dueling pianists.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, that's a great show, and I'm sure everyone will recognize the songs and sing along. That's Saturday, the 22nd. And by the way, don't take Peter's word for it about how good these guys sound. Go to the website, lowellsummermusic.org. You can hear audio, you can see videos of all these acts, and you'll know what it's going to sound like.
Every show has videos and on our website. So just click on the artist, scroll down, there's usually a bio first, and then there's a couple of videos, and it gives you a real feeling for what this is like. In the case of Face to Face, it's a promo video where they sort of put snippets of different songs, but you can see them performing. You can see the live band that performs with them. They're a crack band. They're first class, and so that'll be a great show. Let me back up to Ben Folds.
Let's go to the opening night. We skipped right over opening night, which is a pretty big night as well. But Friday, June 21st. Is it the first day of summer or is the 20th? I get confused.
I've lost track myself.
It's the 20th. Summer's the 21st. They should just make the same day every season.
Any day our shows begin is the beginning of summer. Just cut right to it.
Yeah. What do we know about Ben Folds and the Paper Airplane Request?
You remember the Ben Folds 5.
Of course.
Which was made up of 3 people. So
we talked about them on radio.
You begin to get a sense of the sense of humor that this guy has. So after 4 albums with the Ben Folds 5, and they had a very big hit called Brick. I'm not going to sing it for you, but they had. He came out with a solo album, and I use the term solo loosely because he played all the instruments. It was a multi-tracked album. So if you see a video of him playing "Rockin' the Suburbs," it's 6 Ben Folds playing the music. So he's had some great songs over time. He's an incredible pianist. Actually started his career as a session musician in Nashville as a drummer. So we're actually going to have a drum kit on stage. I don't know what's going to happen with it, but it's going to be there for him. So he's playing solo. So, and again, if you think about the piano work that you hear from Elton John, Billy Joel, that's the level of sophistication you get from Ben Folds. Ben Folds has played with the Boston Pops. He wrote a piano concerto a few years ago and performed it with the Nashville Symphony Orchestra. And currently since 2017, which is now 7 years, he's been the artistic advisor to the National Symphony Orchestra at the Kennedy Center in Washington, D.C. And what he's doing is trying to create more accessible approaches to some of their classical programs and using some other names in pop music to come on the on stage with these orchestras and give them a whole new life to some of these recordings. So he's a very creative guy. And so I expect it to be a spectacular concert. We're watching the weather. I mean, we're in the middle of a heat wave as we speak. And when we get the heat wave ends Thursday, our show's Friday. We have Friday and Saturday. But while the temperature will be down, it's very unsettled weather. And you can't have grand pianos out in unsettled weather.
Unfortunately, no.
We can put the audience out there and they'll get wet, but we try not to do that. So we will be we expect, let's just say, we're trying to make a judgment call. And the weather reports change every single day. So every time we think we know what we're going to do, we're saying it says something different today. Anyway, if we go indoors instead of at the park, it will be at our Noon Rain location, which is Durgan Hall on the south campus of UMass Lowell, 35 Wilder Street. Now, that's 1.5 miles from the park. Right. And those of you who have come to our shows before know that we've always had the convenience of Lowell High School directly across the street from the park. Lowell High School is a 1,600-seat hall. It desperately needs what it's getting this summer, which is new air conditioning and bigger seats and more legroom. So the high school's undergoing a renovation, and this is part of it. Durgan Hall was always a fairly modern facility, but it has been renovated. It has all new seats. There is much more legroom and width and cushiness, I guess, if that's a word. But it's 1.5 miles away. Now, if you are at Boarding House Park and you head in the direction of the high school and the arena and keep going 1.5 miles, you'll get to it.
You're going to run right into Durgan.
Right. Watch for the Shell gas station on the corner of Wilder Street, because French Street becomes Father Morissette, becomes Pawtucket, and then you get to Wilder Street.
Now, these decisions are always tricky, as you mentioned. It's whether we've canceled school at 5 o'clock the night before and then not had a drop of snowfall. But it's going to force you to make the decisions a little bit earlier because the setup is going to be in a completely different area, right?
Right. It's a little bit of a challenge because it's our first time in the building. I mean, we've been in to tour it, but we've never set up a show, position people. We have sponsors who come on site. We need to accommodate them. We have merchandise sales. We got a whole bunch of things that need to happen, as well as taking care of the musicians and loading in a 9-foot grand piano, for example, for Ben Folds. So, which they have a wonderful elevator in there. Now, we're not used to this sort of luxury. But anyway, many thanks to UMass Lowell. Very candidly, I said it to the chancellor the other night when I saw her, but for use of Durgan Hall, we would have had to cancel the series this year. And it would have, because every show we do, while the general public doesn't give it much thought, every show we do has to have a rain backup, because in the contracts for national performers, it basically says if there are weather conditions that endanger the performer, the tour manager gets to make the decision as to whether they go on or stop. And if they have to stop, they're still entitled to their pay.
Yeah, they're getting paid one way or another, right? Whether you cancel the show because you don't have a backup venue or not.
And then we need to give back to the audience all the money they gave us. You put the two together and you say, we can't do that too many times before there's no more Lowell Summer Music Series. We've made it 34 years. We've got some idea what we're doing, but it's a challenge. Now, the challenge, too, is that Durgan Hall is 900 seats, not the 1,600 at the high school or the 1,800 at Boarding House Park. So what you're going to see this year is shows where we'll indicate sold out, meaning our indoor ring location is sold out, that we need to wait till closer to the show date. And if the show can be outdoors, we'll put more tickets on sale. Leave us your email and we'll let you know first.
Yeah, and that's what I was alluding to earlier about the challenges. But the other thing, if there's a show that's listed as sold out that you really want to see, well, wait till the week of, look at the weather forecast a couple of days before, you'll release more tickets once you know you can go outdoors.
And as it happens with Ben Folds, we're, I don't know, about 15 tickets away from sellout.
Okay.
So we'll see. We're still selling. So we'll see how that goes.
All right. So Ben Folds this Friday night, Face to Face, the Elton John, Billy Joel tribute band, Saturday night. Keep an eye out on the website. That's where you get the info first, lowellsummermusic.org. And then you come right back the following weekend with a couple of June shows and then an early July show. Tell us about those shows,
So please. Pink Talking Fish. Pretty odd name, but basically what they're telling you is they play Pink Floyd, Talking Heads, in the group Fish. That's the music they play. What they'll actually be playing at our show is, I believe it's the first set. I think the first set is Talking Heads. And it'll be their Stop Making Sense, which was their greatest hits album. So Burning Down the House and Take Me to the River and, you know, all those famous songs will be part of the set. And the band is augmenting with extra percussion and backup singers and all like that. So it'll be great. Then they're going to, and by the way, it is the 40th anniversary of that album. You feeling old, Ted?
Well, I remember I was either in high school or in college. I remember I was driving with Burning Down the House, and then that was also the glory day of MTV. So you saw all those videos. So again, you'll recognize all these songs. Folks.
So the second set is Pink Floyd, and it is the 50th anniversary of Dark Side of the Moon. So they will perform that in its entirety. Then for their encore, they actually have this. We have this on the website. For their encore, they will play a couple of songs by Fish. So just to round it out. So and that's Friday, June 28th, and Saturday, June 29th is Buffalo Tom, which again is one of those '90s bands. Tail lights fade, helmet is your helmet on, or whatever.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Wasn't Buffalo Tom here for the Town and the City Festival as well? They were like kind of the big headline act.
Yep. So and they've got a new album out. This is their first one in 10 years. So it just came out in May. So I think we'll be hearing a lot of it. So and then interestingly, we have more tribute shows than usual. They're very popular, and I'm amazed at the count on tribute shows at other venues because we watch what everybody's doing. And so on Thursday, July 11th, we've got Classic Albums Live, David Bowie's Ziggy Stardust album. So they'll do a first set is the album, and then the second set is all David Bowie hits. So a lot of fun. Going back to Ben Folds, he's going to do some things in the first part of his show as part of his own set list. Then I think they're giving out pieces of paper to people so they can write their requests on the paper, fold them up like a paper airplane, and on cue, everybody sends the paper airplanes on stage to him, and he picks through them.
Hence the name.
Hence the name, Paper Airplane Tour.
All right.
So a lot of fun.
Yeah, and again, it's the music that you'll recognize. Quite frankly, Peter, we're going to show our age here, but they're not writing music nowadays like they used to when we were growing up. So I think these acts you're going to do very well with them, and it also means the tickets are very affordable. You're always, whether you're bringing in Melissa Etheridge, Lyle Lovett, or whoever, the tickets are always much more affordable at Boarding House Park
if you look
than anywhere
around
else.
at other venues, and they usually whatever, like if we have a $49 show, at another venue will be $49, $59, $69, $79, and believe me, most of them are in the higher zone. So we do our best to keep it economical and keep it financially viable. We don't do anybody any favors if we go out of business because we're not charging enough money to cover the artist fee and all the costs we have to put on the shows.
And what's the best way to get the tickets? I know there's huge controversy out there. Thank you, Taylor Swift, for calling attention to it, but you've been talking about it for years. These ticket agencies are just, you're paying almost as much to them as you are to see the performer, the actual ticket itself.
The best way to do it is go on the lowellsummermusic.org. It is the cheapest price you'll find. I have never seen any other location that somehow, because what they're doing is buying a ticket from us and then upcharging. They don't downcharge.
Right.
Okay. So lowellsummermusic.org, and the ticketing's right there. If you want to go to a box office or pay in cash or whatever, you can do that at Lowell Memorial Auditorium, 50 East Merrimack Street. Lowell Memorial Auditorium is our box office for us as well as for their venues. We had, it's just so sad sometimes, we had a fella come in, a couple come in to one of the shows last year, and they had bought tickets through, something popped up on the screen. They do paid ads that they get them in front of everybody on the when you search, and they ended up spending something like $300 a ticket on what would have been $49 tickets, and the guy says, and it says here, right here, I'm in row 4. We said, row F. I said, we don't have a row F. We do have premium seats, which are the folks who sit right down front, pay a little over the ticket price in order to sit right in the first 4 rows. We provide the seat for them. Everybody else brings a seat. But there's 4 rows, A, B, C, D, no F. Man. So fortunately, we were able to let them into the show, but they're without. They didn't bring a chair. They didn't bring. They didn't know what was doing, and they feel stupid. But I have actually called some of these places to say, you're selling this ticket. We've got plenty of tickets at this price, and you're marking it up and selling it more. Oh, if there's any complaints, our customer service will deal with that.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah,
which is, sorry, no refunds.
Again, it's kind of flattering to the acts that you're bringing in that somebody's willing to pay $300 to see them. You mentioned premium seating. Yeah. Those seats still available, and also season passes. Can I still get my season pass? All
right. You can get a season pass up until and through the Ben Folds show, the first show, because the whole idea is you're coming for the season and you're not going to miss the first show. And we just don't keep them on there forever. We used to try to discount them through the course, and everybody had a problem. So they're out there. It's $480, gets you into 14 paid admission concerts, it works out to something like $38 a ticket. And I mean, the Ben Folds tickets are $65, but you get in for $38 if you're on the season pass.
Yeah, what do you do? You look at 20-25% savings off if you were to buy a ticket for each show.
I believe it's a 20% savings.
Okay, so that's still available. If you're a music lover, right. I advise you consider that.
It's for a limited audience because you have to be a music lover. You have to be somewhere near Lowell because you're not going to travel from Timbuktu to get here every single show. And then you've got to have not a lot of other obligations through the summer. or if you have friends or relatives visiting, you're bringing them with you.
But it's worth it for one other factor alone. Any shows that are sold out, you're guaranteed to get in, especially because of your rain date constraints here. So,
and by the way, we've got one other tribute show that I got to mention because you mentioned her, Taylor Swift. Let's Sing Taylor, coming on Saturday, September 14th. And this is a phenomenon. It's selling like crazy. And it is a singer, live band, and a big video screen that has, well, all kinds of stuff going on, but it certainly has lyrics to the songs. And the whole idea is the audience singing along with Taylor Swift. So this show has played a number of places around the country. I remember one of the first places it played was Huntington, New York, the Paramount Theater, and it sold out quickly and had such a buzz that they booked 4 additional shows a few weeks later and sold out most of those. So
you timed that when the college students are back, didn't you?
It's just when we could get it.
Are we getting a Travis Kelce tribute to some big dude, 6'4", about 280, wearing a Chiefs uniform?
We should do a contest.
I like everybody show up in your Travis Kelce. Sure. I like it. I'm joking, but I would go see that show. Unfortunately, I'm at a wedding that day, so I won't be able to attend.
I'm sure the person getting married won't miss you.
As long as I warn them ahead of time so they can save money on their seats. So, Lowell Summer Music Series, it opens up this Friday night. You see those 2 shows opening weekend. Friday, June 21st, the Ben Folds Paper Airplane Request Tour, and then Elton John, Billy Joel cover tribute. Saturday, June 22nd, Peter Aucella. How do folks get all the info, see the music videos, and buy the tickets so you don't get screwed by these third-party sites?
LowellSummerMusic.org is the best place. Again, Lowell Memorial Auditorium box office, also wonderful location. And I just want to mention that you can also, when you go to that website, if you have small children, we have the Free Fun for Kids series coming up in July and August, starting Wednesday, July 10th, with the Hot Tamale Brass Band, and the kids love being in a New Orleans, being part of a New Orleans band, a little parade around the park, that kind of thing. And we've got lots of, animals and physical comedy, and we actually have some Muppet-like puppets coming in a show called Good News Gus. So anyway, you just go to LowellSummerMusic.org, click on Free Fun for Kids. It's all there. And it's free.
Free, my favorite price tag, and they get my children's stamp of approval. They get there every summer. We'll bring you back late July, early August. Also, Folk Festival at Boarding House Park. We can talk about that later. But also, you got a full month of August, and as you mentioned, even you're going into September this year. So looking forward to it. Great time. Sure sign that summer is here. Peter Aucella from the Lowell Summer Music Series. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Teddy.
Thank you to Peter. Thank you to everyone who puts this summer series on. It's a great time, folks. Great venue. Amazing outdoor acoustics. Unmatched at any outdoor venue. Check it out yourself. Thank you for joining us here at Inside Lowell. As we'd like to say, Inside Lowell. If Lowell is your home, this is your place. Till next time, be safe.